Good day, class. So for today, we're going to discuss another topic with reference to getting the beam deflection as well as the slope of statically determinate beams. So yung bagong topic natin is entitled moment area method or area moment method. But basically, kapag may moment, tas may area, tas may method, pare-parehas lang naman ang ibig sabihin. No? So ngayon, yung moment area method class is dinevelop ni Charles Green in 1873. And then it says here also that it is a semi-graphical technique for determining the slope and deflection of the elastic curve and its deflection due to bending. No? So if you'll remember, nakakalusot tayo sa pagkuha ng slope and deflection without writing or without drawing the elastic curve of the beam using double integration method. Kahit hindi natin isulat yung elastic curve, makukuha natin yung deflection tsaka slope ng beam due to bending. No? So in this method, hindi na tayo makakalusot. Why? Kasi we need the elastic curve in order to imagine how do we calculate the value of the slope and deflection of a beam. Kung magaling ka mag-imagine, pwede naman. No? But for me, I need to draw. No? And for some other people naman, kailangan talaga din i-drawing. We have no choice. No? And then for number 3, nakalagay dito, advantageous when using the slope and deflection. Advantageous when the slope and deflection are needed only at few selected points of the beam. Also, if the beam has variable cross-section. So, ibig sabihin daw niya, kapag nag-iiba-iba na yung cross-section, mas maganda gamitin daw yung moment area method compared to double integration method. So, pwede rin naman gamitin yung double integration method, no? Kung kukuha ka ng slope and deflection sa varying cross-section. But for me, it's much more better to use moment area method instead of double integ, no? And then for number 4, it uses bending moment diagram divided by the flexural rigidity instead of a moment function x to solve for the slope and deflection. If you'll remember, no, ang ginagawa natin sa double integ, kunyari meron tayong beam, kinakat natin yung beam and then nagsusolve tayo ng moment equation as a function of x. No? But for this one class, instead of using that, we're going to use the moment diagram divided by the flexural rigidity or m over ei. So bakit na ba kailangan natin yan? It's all about our derivation of the formula. So, mamaya i-derive natin, no? Okay. So, derive natin dito yung ating formula. If you'll remember, no, based on moment curvature relationship, the value of dx is equivalent to rho d theta. Tama ba? What if magbago yung isip ko? Instead of using dx, I want to solve for the value of d theta. What will happen to our equation, no? So, ang mangyayari, magiging d theta is equivalent to 1 over rho multiplied by dx. And if you remember again, yung value ng 1 over rho class is the same as m over ei. Yan yung na-derive natin, no, last time. So therefore, we could say that d theta is equivalent to m over ei times dx, no? So ngayon, what if I want to solve for the slope? I need to get rid of the derivative. Eh, di ba ang kabaliktaran ng derivative is integration. So, integrate natin both sides. So, anong mangyayari? So, integrate natin, lagyan natin ng limit from b to a. Ito din from b to a. So, what will happen to our equation? Ang mangyayari, magiging theta with reference to b to a is equivalent to the integral of m over ei times dx from b to a. Okay? So ngayon, ano nga ba yung m over ei, no? So actually class, m over ei is just the moment diagram divided by the flexural rigidity. Kagaya nga ng sinabi natin kanina, no? So ibig sabihin, if you have a loading like this, of course meron kang load, magkakaroon ka ng shear diagram, magkakaroon ka rin ng moment diagram. So assuming that this is your moment diagram, no? Yan yung m diagram mo. Ngayon, paano natin kukuhanin yung integral ng m over ei multiplied by dx from b to a. So, ganito lang yan class, no? As you can see, ito yung x-axis. Yung x dito. Ngayon, yung m over ei natin is represented in y-axis. So, parang ang nangyari kasi class, parang nag-integral ka ng y dx na may limit. If you'll remember, in integral calculus, application ng integral calculus, ang integral ng y dx is also equivalent to your area. No? So, ibig sabihin pala, if you want to get the value of theta BA or the angle subtended between point B and point A, that is just equivalent to the area of the moment diagram divided by EI. No? So, ganun lang. Ibig sabihin pala, kukuhanin mo lang yung area subtended between point A and point B. And then, makukuha mo na yung subtended angle between point B to A or A to B. So, ano nga ba yung theta BA na pinag-uusapan natin? Bakit natin kailangan kuhanin yan? So, ito po yan, no? So, basahin na natin yung first theorem. So, sabi dito, the change in slope between any 2 points on the elastic curve is equal to the area of the M over EI diagram between these 2 points. So, anong ibig sabihin yan? So, let's say, for example, this is our elastic curve. Naglagay tayo ng tangent line from point B and naglagay din tayo ng tangent line from point A. So, ang subtended angle between two tangent, tawagin natin yung theta BA or theta AB. Either way, okay lang naman magkaiba ng pangalan. Basta may point A, tsaka may point B. Or point C, point D, basta dalawa na magkaibang letter. Okay lang yan. Nabubuo yan kapag nag-cross ang landas ng dalawang tangent line. No? So, sabi natin, if you want to get this value, kukuhanin mo lang class yung area nito. Ayan, nakalagay sa formula. Theta BA is equivalent to the area of the M over EI diagram from A to B. Now, in other books, nakalagay din po na theta BA is equivalent to theta B minus theta A. But, ang nakalagay sa akin, o nilagay sa ating module is, this is not always the case. Why? O, take a look at this, ha? So, let's say, for example, maglagay tayong tangent line dito, class. Kapag naglagay tayong tangent line, una muna siguro dito. No? Sa ating mga points. Kapag naglagay tayo ng horizontal line dyan, ibig sabihin, class, itong angle na to is represented by theta A. Kasi, meron kang tangent line sa point A, naglagay ka ng horizontal line, subtended angle between the horizontal line and the tangent line, that is your slope. So, this is your theta A. Kasi ito naman, class, your theta B. So, ngayon, balik tayo dito sa ating theta BA. Tama ba na ito rin, itong value na to, itong angle na to, this is also theta A. Bakit? Kasi parang pag ganito, no? Kung ano yung angle dito, yun din yung angle dito. Tama ba? So, this is theta A. Ngayon, itong part na to, ito naman class yung ating theta B. Bakit kaya naging theta B yan? Kasi parang pa letter Z, no? Opposite angle. So, ibig sabihin if this is theta B, this is also theta B. So, ngayon, if you take a look at our figure, yung nabuo nating figure, ang mangyayari dyan, class, is theta BA is equivalent din pala sa theta B plus theta A. Ito yung theta B, ito yung theta A. Pag pinagsama mo yan, that's theta BA. So, ibig sabihin, hindi ito nag-govern. Hindi pala yan tama. So, hindi ibig sabihin, class, na hindi yan tama. Magkaiba lang sila ng senaryo. So, take a look at this. Let's say, for example, we have a beam. Drawing natin yung beam. Siguro maliit na lang, no? Lagyan natin support. Say pin na lang. Tapos, roller. Okay. Subjected to any kind of loading, class. So, of course, the beam will deflect, right? So, lagay natin yung deflection ng beam is kulay blue. So, let's say this is point B. Tapos, somewhere here is point A. No? So, lagay tayong dalawang tangent line. So, lagyan natin tangent line sa point B. Ito yun. Tapos, lagyan din natin tangent line sa point A. Ito yun. Okay. So, now, mag-drawing na tayo ng different angles. No? So, tangent line, para makapag-drawing tayo ng theta B, gawa ako ng horizontal line dito, no, class? Ayan yung horizontal line natin. Ito, class, yung from here to here, this is our theta B. Okay? So, ngayon, punta naman din tayo dito. Gawa tayo ng horizontal line sa point A. since para malinaw ha, ito yung tangent line sa B, ito yung tangent line sa A. So ito class, from here to here, this is your theta A. Sabi din natin, subtended angle between two tangent. Ito yung dalawang tangent na pinag-uusapan. Ito rin ay equals to theta BA. Subtended angle between tangent eh. Ito yung tangent A, ito yung tangent B. So, ibig sabihin ito ay theta BA. Okay? So, ngayon, naniniwala din ba kayo na itong buong to is also equivalent to theta B? So, as you can see, parang ganito rin yan, no? Kunyari, meron kang horizontal line dito, dalawang horizontal line. No? Kunyari, ito yung theta B mo. Ayan yun, no? Theta B. So, tama ba na ito rin ay also theta B? Horizontal line, ito yung tangent line sa B. Horizontal line, ito yung tangent line sa B. So, therefore, theta B rin to. Ito, theta B. Okay? So, we could say that theta BA, based on this figure alone, is equivalent to theta B minus theta A. So, ibig sabihin, this statement is true. So, tama rin yan. No? So, anong pinarating natin dito? So, kailan nagiging tama ang theta B minus theta A? And then, kailan din naman nagiging tama ang theta B plus theta A? So, ganito yan, class. Kapag magkaparehas ng direction ang dalawang tangent line, just like this one, diba? Parehas silang papunta sa left side or parang paangat sa right side. Pababa sa left side, paangat sa right side. Kapag parehas sila ng direction, ang dalawang angle natin ay magsusubtract or theta B minus theta A. Kapag naman opposite ang direction ng ating dalawang tangent line, just like this one, yung isa na paangat sa left side para pababa sa right side. Yung isa naman, paangat sa right side, pababa sa left side. Magka-opposite yung slope natin, no, ng dalawang tangent line. If that's the case, ang mangyayari sa'yo, mag-a-add yung dalawang angle mo. No? Take note of that concept kasi that concept is needed in order to solve the value of either theta A or theta B. Naintindihan po? So that is our first theorem for moment area method. No? So ngayon, let's discuss the second theorem of moment area method. So ito yung statement, basahin ko lang. The deviation TBA of any point B relative to a tangent at any other point A in a direction perpendicular to the original position of the beam is equal to the moment about B of the area of the moment diagram between A and B divided by the flexural rigidity EI. So what does that mean? So ganito lang po, no? Medyo mahirap intindihin yung second theorem pero ito lang yung pinaparating niya. Kapag gumawa ka daw ng tangent line sa B, tapos sinukat mo yung distance from the elastic curve, no, to the tangent line drawn from another point, in our case that's tan B. Ang tawag dito daw class is tangential deviation of A from the tangent line drawn from B. Okay? So, ganun din naman sa kabila, no? Ito yung tangent line mo sa A, ito yung point B sa ating elastic curve. So, ang tawag dito class, tangential deviation of point B from the tangent line drawn from point A. So, take note na yung pagbasa ng ating tangential deviation is very important. Why? Kasi class, ang sabi dito, to get that value, to get this distance, ang gagawin mo lang is kukuhanin mo yung area ng M over EI diagram from A to B and then you will multiply it by the centroid. Ngayon, saan manggagaling yung centroid ng iyong or saan yung reference ng centroid ng iyong moment diagram? Take note that kung sino yung unang binanggit, doon manggagaling yung reference mo for the centroid, no? So for example, TBA ang kinukuha natin. Kung TBA, kukuhanin mo yung area ng moment diagram between point A and point B. Kukuhanin mo yung area nito, class. Pero dahil unang binanggit si B, so ibig sabihin yung centroid natin ay with reference to point B. Ang gagamitin mo is X bar B. Magkaiba kasi yan, no? Yung X bar A at X bar B is completely different. But in our case, kukuhanin mo yung X bar B. Okay? Okay. So let's say for example, you want to get the value naman ng TAB. So, ganun lang din, area of M over EI from A to B and then multiplied by X bar A. Bakit? Kasi unang binanggit si letter A. Kaya it's very important that you know how to name the tangential deviation. Kasi kung hindi, mamamali ka ng sagot mo. Okay? So, that is our second theorem. So, bakit nga ba natin kailangan kuhanin yung tangential deviation? So, we would need the tangential deviation in order to solve for the value of the deflection, especially, no? Kasi, and the slope, no? Kasi, yan yung magiging basis natin in calculating it using trigonometry. Gagamit po tayo ng trigo dito, no? Okay? So, yan po yung second theorem natin. Now, let's discuss the sign convention for moment area method. There's no such thing as sign convention for moment area method, class. Kasi kadalasan, ang ginagamit natin is distances, no? Distances na ninegate natin yung mga sign convention. Kapag ninegate natin yung sign convention, therefore, mawawala na tayo sa sign convention. In my class, usually, ang ginagawa ko, kung ano yung sign convention sa double integ, yun na lang yung pinapa-adapt ko sa students, no? Para parehas kami, para uniform kami ng aking pag nagpa-assessment sa kanila, no? So, ganun po yung ginagawa ko. So, pag ganun yung scenario, pag ginamit mo yung sign convention ng double integ, so ibig sabihin counterclockwise, positive, clockwise, negative, downward deflection, negative, upward deflection, positive. Akin lang naman yan, no? If you want to adapt, it's okay. Okay? Basta you understand. Kasi naman, we have no choice, no? We need to draw the elastic curve. So, makikita mo talaga kung anong direction ng yung slope tsaka deflection, no? So, ang ginagawa lang natin dito, kaya tayo nagkakaroon ng sign convention para pagka nagkaroon tayo ng assessment, ay uniform yung ating mga sagot. Okay? So, although wala siyang sign convention, I have additional notes here. So, anong ibig sabihin? Take note that if the tangential deviation is positive, it means that the location of the elastic curve is at the top of the tangent line drawn from a point. So, anong ibig sabihin nun? So, ang ibig sabihin daw nun, class, kapag positive daw yung tangential deviation mo, nasa taas daw ng tangent line mo yung elastic curve. Just like this one. For example, ito yung tangent line mo, di ba? Yung tangent line sa B. So, you would expect na yung TAB mo is positive. Why? Kasi nga, nasa taas niya yung elastic curve. Ganun din naman yung TBA, no? So, TAB and TBA should be positive because the tangent line is lower than the elastic curve. Kapag naman nag-negative, so ibig sabihin that is an indication na yung elastic curve mo ay nasa baba ng tangent line. So that's a very good indication kung tama yung pagkakadraw mo ng elastic curve or not. And take note, class, pag nahihirapan ka mag-drawing ng elastic curve, kapag positive yung moment, concave upward. Kapag negative yung moment, concave downward. Okay? So ganun lang po. So now, let's review the M over EI diagram kasi kailangan natin ng area ng moment diagram, no? So, i-review natin, kapag meron kang concentrated load, ang degree mo for shear is 0, horizontal. Pagdating naman ng moment, first degree. Okay? Pag concentrated moment ka naman, wala kang degree pagdating sa shear kasi hindi mo naman siya dinadrawing sa shear. Pagdating mo sa moment, 0 yung degree. Perfectly horizontal. Okay? Pagdating naman sa uniformly distributed load, sa shear mo, first degree. Sa moment, second degree. Kapag naman meron kang varying load sa moment, sa shear, since this is already first degree, sa shear, second degree na siya. And then pagdating sa moment, that's third degree o cubic, no? Ngayon, since we need areas and centroids, so let's review. Kapag triangular yung nabuo na moment diagram, madali lang naman. 1/2 base times height. And then the centroid will be 1/3 with reference to this axis. Ngayon, kung kabila naman, that's 2/3. Okay? And then, pag dito naman, rectangle, base times height, ang centroid is 1/2 ng base. Pag dito naman, 1/3 base times height. Bakit naging 1/3? Kasi if you'll remember, we have a generic formula for spandrels, no? So, ang generic formula natin is area is equivalent to 1 over n plus 1 times b. Sorry, ayusin ko lang ha. Area 1 over n plus 1 times b. So ngayon, wait lang. Bumabalik ko kasi. B, H, no? So ngayon, ano ba yung n dito? N is the degree of your curve. So if your degree is second, so therefore yung area mo is 1/3 base times height. Nakaya-gaya ng nakasulat dito, no? Yung centroid naman, may generic din formula. So that is 1 over n plus 2 times b. So in our case, since we have second degree, so yung centroid mo is 1/4 ng b. Considering this is the reference point. Kapag kabila naman, of course, that's 3 over 4. So ngayon, kapag third degree, gagamitin mo lang din yung formula na to. So that's 1/4 base times height. Kapag naman centroid, that's 1/5 base times height kasi third degree na nga tayo. No, sorry, base ng 1/5 ng base. And then for kabila naman yung gagamitin mo, that's 4/5 times b. Okay? So ngayon, medyo mahirapan ka kasi no kung dadaan ka sa shear diagram tapos pupunta ka pa sa moment diagram. So meron akong sinasuggest na pwedeng gamitin. That's what we call moment diagram by parts. So yung moment diagram by parts kasi pwedeng gamitin para maka-shortcut ka, no? Para hindi ka na dumaan sa shear diagram. So pwede rin gamitin po ito. Parehas lang masosolve natin kapag naggawa tayo ng shear and moment diagram. Okay? So paano nga ba yung moment diagram by parts? Take note class na yung moment diagram by parts is the first thing you need to do is you need to select a reference point. Take note, in selecting a reference point, you have to be strategic. What do I mean by strategic? Dapat yung isa-select mo na point of reference, may makakancel kang forces. Ano ba mangyayari? Bakit mo ba siya makakancel? Kasi gagawin mo siyang fixed. Lahat ng forces iikot dun sa reference point mo. Let's say for example, we have this kind of beam. So yung beam natin is nakalagay na dyan yung mga reaction class, no? So what if I take reference point at point A. So, ibig sabihin, yung point A natin, gagawin nating fix. Ano yung mga na-cancel kong forces pag nag-reference point ako sa point A? Of course, dito, yung reaction sa forces, hindi na yan iikot sa point A kasi wala siyang perpendicular distance. And then ito, ikot yan. Yung reaction mo sa B, ikot din yan. And then the uniform load, iikot din yan. No? So, lagi nyo lang tatandaan, gagawin mong fix yung reference point mo. And then, all of the upward forces will also be upward with reference to your reference point, and that should be positive. Lahat ng pataas should be positive. Kapag naman pababa yung forces, pababa din sa reference point mo, and negative din sila sa iyong moment diagram by parts. So as you can see here, ito yung moment diagram by parts with reference to point A. So ano yung maiikot? Since this is concentrated loading, first degree siya sa aking moment diagram, no? So that's 71.25 pataas times 0.8, so that's 570 kilonewton meter. So pataas siya, so pataas din siya sa reference points ko, so that is positive, no? Ngayon, yung 15 naman, so as you can see, yung 15 kilonewton per meter is uniformly distributed loading. So ibig sabihin, itong curve na to, class, is second degree, no? Kung second degree siya, napababa, pababa din siya sa aking reference point. How do you get the value of the moment of this uniform load? So magmo-moment ka lang from point A, that's negative 15 times 4 times 2. So, ang sagot mo, negative 120 kilonewton meter. So, again, bakit negative? Kasi the forces is downward with reference to point A. Okay? So, meron pa tayong natirang 75. Kapag hindi na kasya the class dun sa unang figure mo, you can always draw another figure. Parehas lang yan. Ibig sabihin, i-consider mo sila parehas, no? So, paano natin makukuha yan? Again, concentrated loading, first degree, pababa din sa reference point ko. So, negative 75 times 6, yung perpendicular distance niya. And then, you will have negative 450 kilonewton meter. That is with reference to point A. So, let's say, we want to take reference at point B. So, ibig sabihin, makakancel ko yung reaction ko sa B. So, dito ka na mag-fix. Kapag dyan ka nag-fix class, all of the forces will remove or may move or will rotate at that point. So ngayon, ano yung magro-rotate? Number 1 is the 63.75 courtesy of the reaction sa point A, and then multiplied by the perpendicular distance, which is equivalent to 8. No? Ngayon, ang value niyan, 510 kilonewton meter. Aside from that, we also have the concentrated loading. So downward din sa aking reference point. That's 75 times 2 first degree kasi concentrated loading. Okay? And then you also have 15 kilonewton per meter. And uniformly distributed load siya. So therefore, second degree from point A to point C lang, class. No? Take note, bakit ganyan? No? Kasi if you'll remember, class, if napuputol yung loading mo, di ba pag nag-drawing ka ng shear diagram, kunyari, naputol yung load. Pag nag-drawing ka ng shear diagram, ini-straight mo lang. No? So kapag ini-straight mo lang, pagdating yan sa moment diagram, edi naka first degree yan kasi 0 degree siya shear eh. Ganon din dito, no? Since yung uniform load natin is from point A to point C lang, ibig sabihin yung second degree lang is from point A also to point C lang. So ngayon, paano makuha yung height na to? Edi mag-moment ka dito sa point na to. So that's 15 times 4 times 2, negative. Kasi negative ka sa, pababa ka sa reference point. So ito yun, negative 120 kilonewton meter. Now, hindi ka pa naman nakarating sa reference point mo kasi dito ka lang, oh. Yan lang yung second degree. Kailangan mo paratingin yan dito. O again, since horizontal ka, since 0 degree ka, pag wala kang load sa iyong shear diagram, pagdating mo sa moment diagram, first degree, just like this one, no? Ito yan, linear po yan. Ngayon, paano mo makukuha yung height na to? E di i-moment mo lang ulit itong 15 with reference to your point B. So therefore, that's negative 15 times 4 times 4 plus 2. So paano naging 4 plus 2? Ito yung 4 mo class. And then plus 2 with reference to the centroid of the uniformly distributed loading. Naintindihan po? That's how we do moment diagram by parts at letter B. Or, pwede rin naman, no, kung nahihirapan kang intindihin ito, pwede mo naman gawin ito. Magdagdag ka sa taas, and then magbawas ka sa baba. Pag nagdagdag ka sa taas, magbawas ka sa baba, hindi naman magbabago yung reaction mo, no? So, ibig sabihin, hindi rin magbabago yung una nating nagawa ng moment diagram by parts. Itong nasa taas, kasi parehas lang yan. Ang magbabago is ito. So, as you can see, meron na tayong upward, meron na tayong pataas. Kasi ito, pataas yan sa reference point natin. So, therefore, that second degree upward, that's 15 times 4 times 2, yung centroid natin. So, that's 120 kilonewton meter. Okay? So, ito naman, since buo na siya, hindi na mapuputol yung iyong function. So, therefore, that's 15. Negative, no? Kasi pababa sa ating reference point. So, negative 15 times 8 times 4. So, therefore, that is negative 480 kilonewton meter. Okay? So, that is with reference point sa point B. So, pwede ka rin naman class na mag-reference point sa point C. So, ngayon nga lang, wala ka makakancel. Pero wala naman din na naputol na function. Just like what happened here, no? So, kapag nag-reference point ka sa point C, lahat yan iikot. Number 1 is the 63.75. Pataas din yan dito. And then, 71.25, pataas din yan sa reference point mo. And then, ito, pababa, second degree, negative 120. Ito, pababa, 75, sa negative 150. So, this will be your moment diagram by parts if you took the reference point at point C. Lahat po yan iikot. Okay? So, again, it's up to you in selecting your reference points or in using moment diagram by parts. Kung anong mas mapapadali ka, yun yung sundin mo. Ito lang ay alternative kapag ayaw mo nang dumaan sa shear and then gusto mong rumekta sa moment. This is very useful, no? Especially if you're solving for moment area method. Okay? So ngayon, let's try to solve problem number 1. Okay, so let's try to solve problem number 1 with reference to moment area method. So as you can see, yung figure natin and then yung problem natin is also the problem number 1 for our other topic in beam deflection, no? So try natin sagutan to ng moment area method, okay? So for problem number 1, calculate the following for the given beam, assume EA is constant. So letter A, theta B, letter B, theta B, letter C, theta C, letter D, deflection sa C, and letter E, the maximum deflection, okay? So how do we solve this problem? So first thing you need to do, class, is to draw the moment diagram by parts. Remember, kapag gumagamit ka ng moment area method, kailangan mo ng moment diagram. So umpisahan mo na agad sa moment diagram by parts, no? So if you'll remember, no, yung reaction dito, class, is madali lang, na-compute na natin yan eh. That is just equivalent to 36 kilonewton. And then for this one, this is equivalent to 24 kilonewton. So, ngayon, yung popular dito is you want to take reference point at point A. Pwede rin naman point B, no? Pwede rin point C. It's up to you. But for me, reference point ko na lang is point A. So, therefore, ang 24 ko tsaka yung 60 ko ay magro-rotate from a reference point, no? So, ngayon, syempre, unahin na natin yung reaction. So, first degree kasi concentrated loading class, no? So, therefore, this is 24 times the distance, that is 10, and then divide mo lang ng EI class, no? So, that's positive kasi, positive dun sa reference, pataas dun sa reference point natin. So, this is 240 over EI, okay? And then you also have the 60 kilonewtons right here sa point C. So, drawing natin yan. First degree lang din kasi concentrated load. So, therefore, the value here is negative 60 kasi downward, no? And then times 4, divide mo class ng EI. So, this is also negative 240 over EI. Okay? So ngayon, after you are done with moment diagram by parts, you can now straight to drawing the elastic curve of the beam. Take note, wala tayong no choice kundi i-drawing yung ating elastic curve. So, i-redraw ko lang yung ating beam, no, class? So, meron kang roller dito. Then, you have a pin. Okay? So, ngayon, anong itsura ng ating elastic curve? So, wait lang po. Baguhin natin kulay. So, if this is point A, this is point C, this is point B, the appearance of the elastic curve is like this. Oh, wait lang. Parang pa ganyan, no? Ulit-ulit. Hindi ko masakto, sorry. Okay. Yan, ganyan na lang. Okay, so ngayon dyan na tayo mag-workout, no, ng different values. Okay? Pag wala ka ma-solve, syempre yung sa first point ang hinahanap, theta A, no? So, paano mo kaya makukuha yung theta A? Pag wala ka ma-solve, ang magandang gawin dyan, maglagay ka ng mga tangent line, no? So, since point A, theta A ang hinahanap, pwede maglagay tayong tangent line sa point A. So, lagay akong tangent line sa point A. So, ito yon. So, ngayon, ano bang hinahanap sa point A? So, ito. Lagay tayong horizontal. Ito yung horizontal line. Ito yung tangent line. Ang tawag dito, class, is theta A. Paguhin ko lang yung pen, ha? So, this is your theta A. So, now, paano kaya natin sosolvein yung ating theta A? Take note, meron tayong dito, distance nito. Ano nga ba yung distance nito? From here to here, ang tawag dito, class, is, since this is the tangent line from A, ibig sabihin, ang tawag dito, class, is tangential deviation of B from the tangent line drawn from A. Tangential deviation of B from the tangent line drawn from A. Ngayon, di ba, if you remember, theta is a slope. Tama? A slope has a formula. Ano nga bang formula ng slope? Remember, yung slope is equivalent to rise over run. Tama ba? Rise over run. Ngayon, ano yung rise over run natin dito? Yung rise natin is with reference to TBA, and then yung run natin is with reference to the length of the beam. So, ilan ba yung length ng beam? If you remember, this is 4 meters. This is 6 meters. So, ibig sabihin pala, if I want to get the value of theta A, i-divide ko lang yung TBA sa 10. Hindi gawin na natin yun, no? So, ngayon, sulat na lang natin dito. For letter A, we want to get the value of theta A, which is equivalent to TBA over 10 or rise over run, no? So, ngayon, ano nga ba formula ng TBA? So, yung formula ng TBA is 1 over EI, nilabas ko lang, no, yung M over EI, times area of moment diagram from A to B multiplied by X bar. Sino yung unang binanggit? B. X bar B. Okay? So, dito na lang sa natin simulan. So, TBA is equivalent to 1 over EI. Ano bang area natin? Pupunta tayo dun sa moment diagram by parts. Unahin na natin to. Dalawang triangle lang naman yan. Yung unang triangle natin is 1/2, 240 times the length, 10. Remember, nilabas na natin si EI, ha? So, therefore, this is 1/2, 240, and then yung length is 10. Centroid, unang binanggit si B. Yung centroid mo right here, kasi ito yung B mo, no, class? Ito yung A, ito yung C. So, therefore, that is 2/3, no? Somewhere here. That's 2/3 ng 10. Lagay natin dito. 2/3 of 10. And then, minus class, kasi nasa baba. So, minus 1/2, 240 times 4. Minus 1/2, 240 times 4 times the centroid. Remember, with reference to point B. So that's 2/3 ng 4 kasi 4 meters ito, no? 2/3 ng 4 plus 6. Okay? Ano natin dito? 2/3 ng 4 plus 6. Okay? So ngayon, computein na natin si TBA. Ilan kaya yan? So that's 1/2, 240, 10, 2/3 ng 10. Minus 1/2, 240 times 4, 2/3, 4 plus 6. 6 po ito, ha? Okay, so ang lumalabas sa akin, 3840 over EI. So ngayon, if you want to get the value of theta A, that is just equivalent to 3840 divided by EI and then divided by 10. So ngayon, ang sagot natin for theta A is equivalent to 384 over EI. Okay? So that is our answer. Ngayon, anong direction? So tignan mo yung figure. Horizontal line up to the tangent line that is in clockwise direction. So ibig sabihin ito ay clockwise. Okay? So that is our answer for theta A. So tignan natin kung tama naman o tama naman. 384 over EI. Okay, so let's now try to solve theta B. So ganun lang din, just like what we did on our previous example. Gawa kang tangent line sa point B. So ito yon. And then, wait lang. So ang tawag dito class, from here to here. This is tangential deviation of, since this is tangent sa B, no? Tangential deviation of A from the tangent line drawn from B. So ang hinahanap natin class is theta B, which is horizontal line to the tangent line. This is theta B. So ganun pa din. So for letter B, rise over run. Theta B is equivalent to TAB over 10. So let's now try to solve TAB. So TAB is equivalent to 1 over EI. If you remember yung formula natin, it's 1 over EI, area ng M diagram or moment diagram times X bar. Okay? Ganun pa din area nito. So that's 1/2. 240 times the length is 10. Yung centroid natin, unang binanggit si A. So therefore, 1/3 ng 10. So 1/3 ng 10 and then minus 1/2, 240. Tapos yung length natin dyan is 4. Murahin ko lang. And then yung centroid, that would be 1/3 ng 4. Okay? So therefore, what's the value of TAB? So 1/2, 240, 10, 1/3 ng 10 minus 1/2, 240, 4, 1/3 ng 4. So that's 3360 over EI. Ngayon, if you want to get the value of theta B, that is just equivalent to 3360 divided by EI and then divided by 10. So therefore, yung theta B natin class is 336 over EI. Okay? So that is our answer. Anong direction? So as you can see, horizontal line to the tangent line counterclockwise. So this is counterclockwise. Okay? So that's how we solve theta B. Tama naman, no? So ngayon, paano kaya yung theta C? So yung theta C ganito. So since this is our elastic curve, the representation of point C on the elastic curve is right here. So since hindi mo kayang ma-solve, no? Wala kang makita kung paano mo siya ma-solve, edi maglagay ka ng tangent line sa point C. So lagay tayong tangent line sa point C. So ito yon. Kunyari, yan yung tangent line mo sa point C. T, C. Ngayon, para makita mo yung angle, kailangan mo maglagay ng horizontal line. Sa point C din. Ayan. Okay? So, ngayon, gawa tayong angle. So, ito class, horizontal line lang. Horizontal line to the tangent line drawn from a point that is your theta C. Or lagyan na lang natin ng arrow. Tandaan nyo, ito ay theta C. Okay? Paano kaya natin yung masosolve yung theta C na yan? O, makinig. Tingnan dito. So, subtended angle between two tangents. So, ito yung tangent line mo sa C, tangent line mo sa B. So, therefore, itong angle na to class is, ano kaya? Theta CB or theta BC, parehas lang. Okay? So, ngayon, kung theta CBN, so, drawing akong horizontal line dito class, no? Pag nag-drawing akong horizontal line dyan, kung ito ay theta C, as you can see, ayan, no, theta C yan, no? So, ibig sabihin pala, since ito ay tangent line sa C rin, ito ay horizontal line din. Ito rin pala is theta C. Itong angle na to. Ito rin pala ay theta C. Tama ba? So, ngayon, if you can see in our figure, since pa letter Z ito, no? Ito ay theta B. Ito ay tangent line sa B. So, ito rin pala ay, simula dito hanggang dito, theta B. Tama ba? Letter Z eh. Ito. Ganyan kong horizontal line dito. Ayan o, letter Z. Ito. So, if this is theta B, this is also theta B. Okay? So, we could say that if you want to get the value of theta C, that is theta CB minus theta B. Tama ba? Okay? So, parang ganito. So, letter B, lagay na lang natin dito, letter C. So, if you want to get the value of theta C, that is theta CB minus theta B. Okay? So, ngayon, kumpitin na natin si theta CB. Paano nga ba makumpit si theta CB? If you'll remember, that's 1 over EI times area of moment diagram from C to B. Walang centroid, no? Pang-tangential deviation lang yon. So, ibig sabihin pala, theta CB is equivalent to 1 over EI. Pero take note class, hindi pa natin makukompute yung area niyan. Kasi kailangan natin na ito. Itong height na to. Kasi ang area na kino-consider lang natin is in between C and B. And we don't have this height, no? Tawagin natin Y. How do we get the value of Y? We could use ratio and proportion, no? So, paano kaya yon? So, pwede nating sabihin na Y over 6 is equivalent to 240 over EI divided by 10. So, ang lalabas dyan, Y is equivalent to 144 over EI. So, therefore, ang area nito is 1/2. Ang height mo, 144. Ang length mo is 6. So, therefore, what's the value here? 1/2, 144 times 6. So, that's 432. This is 432 over EI. So, ibig sabihin, if you want to get the value of theta C, this is just equivalent to 432 over EI minus, ano nga ba yung theta B? Ito, 336. So, 336 over EI. So, therefore, yung theta C mo is 96 over EI. So, yan yung answer natin, no? So, ngayon, anong direction yan? If you take a look at our elastic curve, as you can see, the direction of theta C is clockwise. So, ilagay natin dito, clockwise. Okay? So, that's how we answer letter C. So, tingnan natin. So, tama naman, no? So, how about deflection sa point C? Paano natin masosolve yung deflection sa point C? So, ito yun, class, no? So, from here to here, yan yung ating YC. How do we solve the value of YC? So, madali lang class, no? Tandaan mo lang na simula dito, wait lang ha. Tandaan mo lang na simula dito sa point C, ayan yung representation mo ng point C, tama? Simula dyan hanggang dito, anong tawag? Remember, yung kinonsider natin is tangent line sa point B. So, ibig sabihin, simula sa elastic curve from the tangent line sa point B, ang tawag dyan, tangential deviation of C from the tangent line drawn from B. Okay? So, paano mo makukuha yung YC? So, as you can see, para siyang triangle, no? Ito yung height, ito yung hypotenuse, ito yung length, no? So, pwede natin gamitin yung slope sa B. Rise over run lang din. Ang rise mo will serve as YC plus TCB and then yung run mo is 6. Okay? So, pwede natin gamitin yon. So, punta tayo sa letter D. So, sa letter D class, if you want to get the value of YC, so that's theta B, rise, is YC or deflection sa C plus TCB over 6. So, ito yan class. YC plus TCV divided by 6. Rise over run. Okay? So, paano natin susolving yan? So, compute na lang natin siguro yung TCB. Kasi meron na tayong theta B, no? So, TCB muna tayo. TCB is equivalent to 1 over EI 1/2 times the length, times the height. So, remember yung height natin, na-solve na natin, that's Y, which is equivalent to 144 over EI. So, 144 times the length, 6, times the centroid, unang binanggit si C class. Kapag unang binanggit si C, nandito yung banda yung centroid, that's 1/3 ng 6. So, 1/3 of 6. So, pwede na yan. So, theta B mo, ilan to? 1/2, 144, 6, 1/3 ng 6. So, this is 864 over EI. Okay? So, ngayon, lagyan na natin. So, this is 336 over EI is equivalent to YC plus 864 over EI divided by 6. So, what's the value of YC? 336 equals X plus 864 over 6. So, ang YC natin is 1152 divided by EI. Okay? So, syempre, nakita naman natin kanina that is downward deflection. Okay? So, ito yan. So, okay. So, how about Ymax? How do we solve for Ymax for letter E? So, ngayon, ang sabi natin, based on our double integration lecture, makukuha mo si Ymax kapag si slope ay 0. Paano ba nagkakaroon ng slope ay 0? Kapag yung tangent line mo, tsaka yung horizontal line ay nagko-coincide. Ibig sabihin, pareha silang horizontal. So, assuming natin na nandito yung Ymax, kung yan yung Ymax class, ibahin natin yung kulay. Kung yan yung Ymax, ibig sabihin, kapag naglagay ako ng tangent line dito class, perfectly horizontal. Okay? So, kung perfectly horizontal yan, kaya na natin masolve yan. Paano? So, ito class na. Ano ba tawag dito? Lagyan ko muna siguro tong point D, panibagong point. Tawagin natin point D, which is the location of Ymax. Kasi kailangan natin to, no? Di natin kasi alam kung nasan banda si Ymax. So, kailangan natin to. Distance from here up to point B. So, tawagin kong X. So, paano natin makukuha yan? So, ganito class, no? Gawin natin green. Ito kasi class, tangent line from V, dun sa Ymax, no? So, sorry, medyo magulo, no? So, sana naiintindihan niyo pa ako. Tangent line from D. Ngayon, kung tangent line from D yan, tapos ito, tangent line from B. So, we could say that this is, gawin kong green ha, itong angle na to, from here up to here, this is theta dB. Tama ba? So, ngayon, yung theta dB mo, since letter Z sila dito, ano, highlight ko lang class, buburahin ko din ha. Ito, letter Z yan, di ba? Itong part na to, so, itong part na to, di ba letter Z yan? Kung letter Z yan, ibig sabihin yung theta dB mo is also equivalent to theta B. So, we could use that relationship in order to get the value of x. Okay. So, ngayon, paano natin makukuha yung value ng x, yung location ng ating maximum deflection? So, sabihin natin, nandito yung point D natin, yung ina-assume ko. The distance from here to here, this is x. Tapos, we want to get the value of y. Kasi kailangan natin yan, no? Paano kaya natin kukuhanin si value ng x, si value ng y in terms of x? So, pwedeng ratio and proportion, no? So, paano yan? So, y over x is equivalent to 240 divided by EI, tapos divide mo ng 10. So, ibig sabihin pala, yung y ko, we could say that that is equivalent to 24x divided by EI. So, we can now use this relationship in order to get the value of x, since may theta b naman tayo. Theta dB kasi is just the area of this moment diagram. Itong may shaded portion na to. Okay? So, madali lang. So, paano yan? Okay, so start tayo dito, letter E. That is equivalent to theta dB, is equivalent to theta B. Okay, so ito is just 1 over EI times 1/2, area lang nito. So, yung y1 para ma-designate natin na iba. So, 1/2 times y1. y1 is 24x. So, ilagay natin dito. So, 1/2, 24x. Nilabas ko na kasi si EI. Times na lang is x if you'll remember, no? And then, equate mo yan sa 336 over EI. So, ngayon, makakuha ka ng value ng x. So, x is equivalent to 5.2915. So, 5.2915 meters. Now, hindi mo agad-agad gagamitin yan. You have to check if that is correct or not. Paano natin i-check? Remember, nung nag-assume tayo, sinabi natin na yung x value is less than 6 meters. Bakit? Nung nag-ratio and proportion tayo, sinabi rin natin na yung y max, yung location niya, hindi lalagpas ng 6 meters. Kapag kasi lumagpas na, you need to consider this area. No? Kapag magko-compute ka ng value ng x mo. Ang kinonsider lang natin itong portion na to eh. So, inassume natin na hindi siya lalagpas ng 6. Ngayon, ano ba yung value natin? O hindi naman lumagpas ng 6. So, therefore, this is correct. No? So, again, nag-assume tayo na yung maximum deflection is in between B and C. If that's the case, yung point D natin is ito. So, nagkaroon tayo ng x class. Yung y1 natin, in terms natin sa x. And considering this figure, inassume natin na hindi siya lalagpas dito. Kasi kung lalagpas yan dyan, magkakandaletse-letse yung calculation natin. So ngayon, dahil hindi lumagpas, rekta na tayo, pinlagin natin dito. Nakuha natin yung x, less than 6 naman. So that is correct. No? So ngayon, sir, paano natin makukuha yung y max dyan? Nakuha mo lang yung value ng x. Ito kasi yung y max. No? Diba, ito ay y max. From here to here, yan yung y max. Ngayon, diba y max din ito? Baguhin ko lang yung kulay, class, no? Diba from here to here, this is also your y max. And then, that is also your tangential deviation of B from the tangent line drawn from D. Ito yung tangent line sa D mo eh. Ito yung point B mo. So, ibig sabihin, if you want to compute for the value of y max, kukumputin ko lang din pala yung tangential deviation of B from the tangent line drawn from D. Okay? So, banatan na natin. So, since meron na tayong x, so, paano yan? So, y max is equivalent to TBD is equivalent to 1 over EI. Area in between B and D. So that's 1/2. Ang height mo ay y1, which is 24x. Meron na tayong value ng x. So 24, 5.2915. And then yung length. Yung length is 5.2915. And then yung centroid, unang binanggit si B class. So therefore, that is 2/3 ng 5.2915. So 2/3, 5.2915. Okay? So ngayon, yung Ymax natin class is equivalent to 1/2, 24, 5.2915, 5.2915, 2 over 3, 5.2915. 1185.295. 295 over EI. That is in downward direction. So therefore, that is our answer. Okay? So let's see. 1185.297. So nag-round off lang po tayo. Okay? But basically, that's the same. Kung nalilito kayo dito, so pwede ko naman lagyan ng mga variable. So ito po yung naging y1 natin. Itong portion na to, yan yung y1 natin. Ito class yung x, ito class yung x bar. So ibig sabihin, ito ay area. Ito yung centroid. Okay? So that's how we answer problem number 1.